On December 13th, 2006, a man jumped out of a plane at 15,000 feet. He was calm, he was trained. He had done this over 7,000 times before. But seconds into the fall, something went wrong. His parachute failed, then his backup failed, and then he hit the ground at full speed. He should have died instantly. But what happened next defied everything we know about the human body. It started like any other jump. Michael Holmes was 25 years old and working as a professional skydiving instructor in New Zealand. That day, he and two colleagues boarded a Piak 750XL aircraft near Tauranga. The plan? A standard 15,000-foot jump for training and fun. Michael had done this thousands of times, over 7,000 to be exact. He checked his gear, his main chute, his reserve. Everything looked normal. As the plane climbed into the sky, the camera on his helmet was already recording. He wore it for training purposes. No one knew it would end up documenting something unthinkable. At altitude, the three men jumped. Michael was the last to exit. The fall was normal. At first, he stabilized, got into position, everything routine. Then, at around 4,000 feet, he pulled his main parachute. Nothing. He yanked again. Still nothing. He quickly reached for his reserve chute, but the moment it deployed, something went wrong. The canopy twisted violently, the lines tangled, the parachute malfunctioned and wrapped around him, spinning him out of control. He tried everything, kicked, pulled, rolled, but the lines were a mess and he was dropping fast. From the footage, you can hear his breathing accelerate. Then, the part that stunned everyone, he calmly says, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die." The ground was rushing up. He had seconds left. No more options, no more backups. From 15,000 feet, Michael had fallen for nearly a full minute. And now, he was just seconds from hitting the ground, in freefall, tangled in lines, spinning, powerless. At around 100 miles per hour, he smashed into the earth. But not concrete, not rock. He hit a blackberry bush. A massive thick patch of thorns broke his fall, just enough to cushion the impact. Still, the damage was brutal. His right ankle shattered on impact, his spine fractured, one of his lungs collapsed. He was bleeding internally, and yet, he was conscious. Somehow, he was still alive. Footage from the helmet cam, still recording, shows him lying in the bushes, moaning in pain. Then, unbelievably, he tries to sit up. Quick break. We make videos about real stories that sound made up. Survival, strange events, unbelievable twists. If it really happened and it sounds insane, we cover it. So if you're into that, hit subscribe. It helps more than you know. All right, let's get back to the video. Paramedics were called immediately. The impact had been so violent that many assumed they'd find a body. But when they arrived, Michael Holmes was awake, groaning, barely breathing, but alive. The fall should have killed him 10 times over. But his body didn't break in the way doctors expected. The soft terrain, the angle, even the tangled parachute lines may have slowed the impact just enough. Michael was rushed to the hospital and placed in intensive care. Collapsed lung, broken back, shattered leg, but no brain damage, no paralysis, no coma. Doctors called it a statistical impossibility. A month after the accident, he gave his first public interview, in a wheelchair, still recovering. He didn't sound angry, he didn't sound afraid. He said one thing that stuck with people. "I was lucky, I shouldn't be here." And yet, somehow, he didn't quit. Within 3 months, he was back in the air, skydiving again. He said it wasn't about proving anything, it was just what he loved. The footage of his fall has now been seen millions of times. And the final moments, the panic, the quiet acceptance, and the impossible survival have become part of skydiving lore. Some called it a miracle, others called it physics. Michael, he just called it a bad day at the office. So, how do you fall from 15,000 feet, slam into the earth at terminal velocity, and survive? It wasn't luck, not entirely. Experts believe 3 key things saved Michael Holmes. First, the terrain. He didn't hit concrete or open field. He landed in a thick patch of blackberry bushes, dense, thorny, and tall. That natural cushion absorbed some of the energy from the fall, acting like a brutal safety net. Second, the tangled chute. Even though both his parachutes failed to work properly, the lines and fabric still created some drag. It slowed him down, just not in a controlled way. Combined with the spin, it may have altered the impact angle just enough to avoid fatal injuries. And third, his position. Video footage shows that he landed feet first. Doctors believe that this allowed his legs and spine to absorb the brunt of the impact instead of his head or torso. If he had landed any other way, he would have died instantly. Michael's survival wasn't a miracle. It was physics, luck, and the weird, unpredictable resilience of the human body. It's the kind of story that feels impossible until you realize it really happened. Real story that sound made up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.